Hey everybody, Rajin here, bringing you all another stock of commentary. And how exciting is this shit? In case anybody's wondering why I'm not talking as loud as I usually do, it's because people at my house are asleep and it's very late and I don't even know why I'm doing this, but I just love you guys so much, so I'm doing this. Last set of the third quarterfinals matchup in the Lost Saga MSL between JangBi and NaDa, and I'm actually quite surprised to see this come here. A lot of people predicted JangBi to completely steamroll NaDa. Just many people predicted a 3-0, and NaDa has shown him not to doubt him. And overall, just been good matches overall. Whenever the game turned, whenever JangBi played standard, NaDa has won. And 2 times the JangBi played non-standard, he has won. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of strategies these guys go for on the last matchup here. Booyah. 4, 3, 2, 1, go. It's going to be on Byzantium II, which is where the first match was, where NaDa won. So it's going to be interesting. At the lower left, at 7 o'clock, we're going to have JangBi as the brown protoss. At the 1 o'clock, we are going to have NaDa as the red terran. Upper left. I think I said lower right last time when I meant lower left. Never mind. So this is actually opposite positions from what was in the first game. The first game, NaDa was at 7 o'clock and JangBi at 1 o'clock. Or no. No, actually no. This is 11 o'clock. JangBi was at... what? JangBi was at 1, NaDa was at 7. So no, what I just said had no meaning whatsoever and nothing to do with this match. And I just confused myself, and now this commentary is going to suck. Not really though. So JangBi now, I think both players are going to play standard here. This is a 4-player map and pretty standard map overall. And we're going to see whether NaDa can do his same performance as they did in the first time, and whether JangBi can improve his own performance. Overall, he just didn't manage to get his arbiters out fast enough, just not enough to make them really battle ready, and just not enough to get a bunch of stasises going. If he had a lot of stasis, if he could have won that game, if he had stasis, the huge armies of NaDa had just mass forces that were all really clumped up, so stasis would have really helped JangBi in that game, but overall, that's not what happened. It's going to be very interesting to see what kind of choices these players go for here. NaDa now going to put down the barracks. Fairly difficult to wall off on this map, so NaDa's not even going to bother with that. Also getting his gas going, so JangBi as well getting his simulator now. His gateway almost up. He's probably just going to see whether he goes for this early goon range into robotics facility, or whether he goes for gateway into Cybernetics core with range into another gateway to get a more of a ground army going. That's what he did last time on this map. Didn't work out too well for him, but overall got a ground force going fairly soon. Although he did try to go for harassment with Reavers, but it was just prevented completely by NaDa. NaDa had perfect turret position. He had scouted it, so he was very ready for it. Barracks now almost ready for NaDa as well, and unfortunately for NaDa is that he's sent his scout out completely wrong, and JangBi's very lucky with the scouting again, getting his probe into just the right location. And I think this early scout's going to show NaDa where it is that JangBi came from. NaDa again going to be forced to pull an SCV off the line to prevent one of his own SCVs from dying as he's trying to build his first factory. Now he's going to move that SCV though cross positions. We're going to see whether JangBi has enough in time to block off that SCV from giving. I think that SCV should be able to give him. I don't think there's going to be anything else in the tank. No, he's actually going to move downwards to the right. Never mind. First Zealot, meanwhile, now out for JangBi is going to move out and going to try to do some harassment, factoring almost up. But I think there are going to be enough Marines in position to prevent the Zealot from really doing too much. Some little micro here and there should be able to help him out. First Dragoon now is also out for JangBi. He's in range now, so he might be thinking of putting out some early pressure. 2 Marines there to defend that. Meanwhile, now a Zealot and a probe going to move down, and those Marines are going to go a little bit from behind, and the 3rd Marine is going to pop up. Machine shop also coming out, and as soon as that 3rd Marine popped out, that Zealot with probe decided to move backward. The Dragoon, though, is coming forward soon, so now he's going to have to build even more Dragoons to make sure that he doesn't get harassed. Overall, interesting so far. Second gateway coming down from JangBi, so he's actually is going to go 2 gateways, going to pump a decent amount of Dragoons. Not going to move on with his own Dragoon. Takes 1 shot at a Marine, and that is all that. Meanwhile, a scouting SCV of JangBi's has moved out because of scouting SCV of NaDa's, has moved out and is scouting JangBi's base completely. That's very good by them. JangBi, of course, with their early aggression, didn't really leave himself open to prevent any sort of scout. Some Marines did die, but one probe got taken down. Meanwhile, 4 Marines there to defend with that one CV to block for the Dragoon. Of course, the bad thing about this is that while you're in this kind of position, it's pretty bad because you're fighting up a ramp, up your own ramp, and being held down your own ramp is pretty bad for you. Now that barracks is going to get floated off, we're going to see what he tries to do. Okay, just floats in slightly more better position to get a position going. He also has a tank now, so NaDa's going to be able to push out now. That Zealot and Dragoon are going to be forced back. And there is another Dragoon there to support. We're going to see overall what it is that NaDa goes for, whether he goes for an expansion. He's also going to now move that barracks into a position where he can help block off his choke to the natural. Now, 3 Dragoons, as well as 1 Zealot. They are actually going to move out. There's only nothing but a tank and so many. This first Vulture now is out. Not quite sure if he has mines there or not. Some Dragoons, Zealot, I think, did actually get taken on mines. They're trying to be planted. That barracks blocking a little bit the view. Some Marines have been taken down. 2 Marines still left alive. And those Dragoons still in perfect health, pretty much. Just trying to put on some early pressure. Also going to start attacking that barracks so far. NaDa putting down the barracks and starting to build already. And the barracks under a lot of fire. Meanwhile, 2 Vultures now out there trying to build up, plant some mines. Meanwhile, a commander be put 1 mine going off. Oh, barely gets shot down just before it hits those Dragoons. Good micro there by JangBi. More mines being put down. The barracks might actually go down if he doesn't repair it fairly soon. He's actually instead electing to repair his tanks. He's not going to repair his barracks. Oh, actually, he's going to start repairing. I think he might have been too late. Oh, too late. Barracks goes down. Balls. This is not good. Now NaDa's going to be forced to rebuild his barracks. It's going to be bad for him because he's not, until he rebuilds that barracks, he's not going to be able to add more factories to his little collection. Now trying to rebuild the barracks. Ooh, 1 Dragoon walking right into a mine, trying to micro. Meanwhile, also taking out the SCV that's building the barracks. So pretty bad for NaDa there. He should have been able to put those SCVs to work on that barracks much sooner than he actually did, and should have been able to prevent that from going down. Mine again, almost going off on Dragoon, but perfect there by JangBi, microing his Dragoons away. Now with siege on those tanks, he's going to force JangBi from moving back, or again getting his robotics facility going now. And there is engineering baby one ready for NaDa, so not minding too much to add his main. He doesn't have much SCV saturation at all because he's getting that very early expansion. Now getting his barracks up again so he can add some factories. Meanwhile, just using this opportunity to get some missile turrets going because he knows JangBi's playstyle at this point. JangBi loves going for that early robotics, trying to do some harassment with the Reavers. He's been doing that fairly well so far. We have only had one real match where it goes into late tech, and now apparently JangBi is thinking of expanding again. He's expanding very aggressively. This is something that JangBi does and often comes into his advantage, although just hope for his sake that he's not overextending himself. You got to be very careful against NaDa here. NaDa meanwhile planting turrets all over the place because he knows the Reavers are going to be forthcoming. Don't know if he probably didn't really scout it. He's just expecting it. Just, foreshadowing, and just he's had a robotics facility being put down every game so far, and a robotic support. There have been Reavers coming at him every single game, and it's worked for JangBi. So why, even though one time it didn't work, it's worked overall. So why mess it up when it actually works? So not doing a good job. Also not blocking off his choke with a supply depot along with that barracks. Has a decent amount of tanks. Meanwhile, I don't know if he actually added any more factories or not. He's just still putting missile turrets all over the place. I think he should be adding some more factories. Oh, getting armory now up, so he's going to be able to get, again, early upgrades. This, of course, helped him really win the match last time, so he knows to get those early upgrades because protoss generally in PvT get upgrades very late. It's for some reason just the way players play. Meanwhile, those Dragoons are in range of that one turret. That's not going to help him out. That one tank is meanwhile going to be able to siege and prevent those Dragoons from being too aggressive and almost taking that turret out. First shuttle now is out, and with robotic support almost also ready. So the first streamer is going to be on the way soon. I'm not quite sure, but I think NaDa at this point already has enough turrets to really defend. He's still planning out more turrets in position. He has some tanks there to defend as well. Putting down his second factory, meanwhile, also has the Academy Guard. I'm not quite sure if he's building anything in there yet. But now JangBi is going to move out with his shuttle. He has a Reaver inside there, and it's going to be very critical for him to get some sort of economic damage done. He's put down an expansion at the 6 o'clock location, and to really get this heavy economic advantage going, he's going to need to do some damage, or else NaDa should be able to be in a pretty decent position, should be able to put down his own expansion fairly soon, as soon as he reads JangBi's own intentions. JangBi also now adding some more gateways, trying to build up a decent amount of size force. I think he's going to add 2 or 3 Also get an observatory at another location. And again, that shuttle's finding itself with slightly difficulty of getting in, because turrets are placed in such a location that if the shuttle tries to fly in between the turrets, both turrets are going to be able to fire on instead of one. So it's fairly difficult to suicide. You don't really want to suicide your shuttle in, because if you want to do harassment, you want to be able to move a reaver inside, then move the reaver back outside. It's not really a good idea to suicide it in and to lose it, and possibly along with lose both the shuttle and the reaver. It's just not a good idea, even if you manage to do some sort of economic damage. 6 o'clock location now has been put down by JangBi, so he's mining a lot there and getting his 5th gateway now inside of his main, so he's getting a decent ground army, he's using a lot of ground force. Also getting an observer now out. It's going to try to move into this natural of NaDa's